So in thinking about the lack of word solving right now is what it sounds like. Which strategies do you think they are using?
They're using the initial sound, like Erin said. They're looking at that first letter, and whatever word could fit that sound. So not the meaning, not the syntax, if it makes sense, just the first sound. That's their strategy.
And what else?
Okay, so let's say Ibn, right? Ibn Karim. He went back and he's like, let's say it's frog, right? He's going fish, and he goes on reading. Go back, you said fish. Oh, frog. Okay, read that again. So he knew what to do easily, but I had to stop him. So for me, it's kind of like now getting them back into the mindset that this is how we read, and if you don't know what it says, it's not going to make sense, and now you don't know what the story is about anymore.
Right.
But if they know their blends, and it's actually coming from you, right? That we're talking about those initial sounds. If they're tight on those blends and those vowel patterns, then they're gonna be less likely to kind of sit there and try to figure out, well, what's FR? What's the FR? They should know that. So it's not even taking away. And so if they recognize the stories about frogs, and now that you've taken care of that. So that's what I want to do prior to doing the guided reading. And then, and depending on the group, on the reading comprehension, like those flashcards with the blends, the L blends, the S blends, the T blends, and the vowel pattern ones.
So, so that's definitely great because we want them to read the blends quickly. But I can't help but think about where the blends are in the word. So you guys identified that they'll read the beginning, but then not finishing through the word. So what else could you incorporate into the word work that's going to get at that strategy of not only looking at the beginning, but also continuing through the end?
The chunking.
I think, speak more to that. What do you?
So definitely the chunking as well. So that's again a strategy that they know from kindergarten, but again, they're not internalizing. So it's, okay, chunk it. What does that mean? The beginning sounds, break it down. Second part, break it down, put it together.
Right.
So now that's that strategy where that's different than the beginning sounds and the blends and certain vowel patterns, but it's putting it together. So now you know your blends, you know your vowel patterns. Let's chunk it, put those sounds that you know, and read through.
And so you identified chunking as a strategy that you should do in your actual analysis, but it's not here in the implication. So putting that into the implication and then being even more specific about which chunks you're going to start to identify or exactly how you're going to do that. So I'm not sure if you would prefer to do like, okay, we're going to introduce these chunks, or if you're going to do it more from like a procedural thing of like we're teaching them how to identify the chunk. Do you know what I mean by that, by as far as the procedural part of it?
I haven't really done chunking, to be honest. The way I interpreted chunking was just any longer word or any word.
Right.
Okay, first sound, what's that sound? Second sound. So I don't know what the kind of like the breakdown of this is how we chunk, or this is.
So if we have this word here, wonderful, right? So you teach them to look for the vowels.